have returned. I think I've decided that for now, I'm going to go and update my Boots Were Made For quest with Hual Ruxith. And on the way to basically go to Neck Forest and kill some shadowed men there, maybe. That's my current goal, I think, anyway. I'll let everyone in the guild know in case anyone wants to join me on that quest. But either way, I'm gonna head over there, and if anyone needs me for anything else, then of course I will go and do that instead. I'm thinking that the Shadowed Men would be good to get my update for a quest. Let's see here, what quest that is. Mercenary contract. I think that might be the repeatable that begins in the area where you zone in from Commonlands. I think that's where that is. So I will go and stop to talk to Hual Ruxith, then I think I'll go down to the docks entrance so that I can have a shot at that. Oh, the lore and legend. That's a good idea. I wonder if I have that yet. Kelthia is reminding me to check for the lore and legend before I head out there. And I don't have it. So, this means I need to go first to South Kinos to grab that. I also don't have room in my journal, so I may have to knock out some other quest to make that room happen before I do that. Let's make sure that I don't actually have it somewhere in my bags. I do not, so, alright. So it's not in my bags or my bank or my house vault, or it would have shown up whenever I did that search just then, so. This implies that I still need to pick up the Shadowed Men quest. I see that there are not any markings on the map on here for any kind of quest starters. In spite of that, there are quest starters, and of course the reason is because we are on the ground floor currently. Once we get a little higher, maybe. Well, no, it's still going to be the same on here, I believe. So, anyway, we will see if we can find the lore and legend for the Shadowed Men in the Tower of what is it called? Is it Tower of, everybody just refers to it as the Mage Tower, but it has a name. I don't remember what. Wouldn't it be funny if it's something like the Tower of Mages or something like that? Seems like a possibility that it even is, but you would think it might be. There's the Academy of Arcane Sciences, I believe, over on the Freeport side. So yeah, it's definitely not there. Now, where is the book? There are so many different quests that you can pick up in this area. Neither of these are the correct one. That it's difficult to remember which one is the correct one for this, for this particular quest. I'm gonna do some jumping, get that safe fall up. So I just went into the blue teleportation area. Let's go to the yellow and see if that's any better. Let's see, there's this stack of wiki books here. Words of Pure Magic, I may... Okay, let's see. Let's just read this. Dear reader, I bring to you what you already have. The world of ours is crossed by a great many powers that bind life together as nails and glue bind two boards. Without the nails and glue, there would be no hull or no wall to a greater thing. All that we know is bound by forces greater than the places themselves or the planes themselves, and from one of these forces, the gift of Drusaic comes to us. Drusaic is the true language of the arcane. The forces of magic can only be represented by most powerful of symbols. Symbols so complex and enlightened that they breathe the sentience to the beholder, but only the beholder that can understand the language of Drusaic. I comprehend this language of true magic, and I offer my knowledge to you. Drusaic originates in a well of knowledge greater than all new Tannin can offer. This well is all around us, and is part of everything we see and are. It is the binding force of magic. Although this force is one of many that bind our realm, it is the only one to my knowledge that has presented corporeal gifts unto our world. It is from these gifts that I have deciphered Drusaic. Drusaic has always existed, but only now has it made its way to Norath. I am a seeker of knowledge, bound to no emperor or overlord. The knowledge of this world shall not be bound to a state and confined within vaults of knowledge. I trek for the freedom of knowledge, and in my journeys across these shattered lands I have encountered sights both wondrous and shocking, but I have yet to encounter anything like the Drusaic shrines. As I traversed the stormy highlands of the once plains, I first gazed upon the beauty of the Drusaic shrine. At first it was a glint from afar that called to me, beckoned me in some hypnotic fashion like a siren to the sailor. As I drew closer, I could see the aura of magnificence sparkling and swirling about. I added haste to my steps. I came upon the Drusaic shrine and found myself in awe of the splendor that danced all about. I must have been in a trance for days, my thirst and hunger fed by the song of the shrine. Finally, my eyes began to clear, and I found myself bolts away from the shrine, partially bathed in its brilliance. Now, with my senses intact, I was finally able to gaze upon the shrine and record my sight. All about the image I found runes, symbols, a form of alphabet. As I stood there studying these runes, thinking I would never be able to decipher such a complex code, the shrine began to hum. The rhythm of the shrine began to seep into my mind, and for an instant I could begin to read the runes. And then the unexpected occurred. The shrine vanished. Where once it did sit, this Drusaic shrine was no more. The beauty of the shrine had vanished before my eyes, taking with it the key to a new language, a language of magic. I was on the brink of discovery, and in an instant it was wiped from me. I wept for the grandeur that was almost comprehended, having seen a glimpse of arcane purity. The days went on, and my exploration of the shattered lands had only begun. I continued on recording my sights that could not compare to the song of the Drusaic shrine. I had met up with my friend from ages past as he toured the lands, taking notes to be shared with all Norathians. I, too, wished to share my knowledge, and wished to share what would have been a new arcane language if the shrine would never have left me. I was alone with memories from within and beyond words, pure magic. We had sailed to new lands together, my old friend and I. We walked over dangerous lands, and all the while I believed the shrine to be gone forever. It was at this end of hope that the sound overtook my mind yet again. I could hear the song of the shrine. I swiped my friend's magic boots of great haste. With them I soon found myself face to face with the shrine again, or so I thought. What I saw before me sang the song of the shrine, but contained runes of a different sort. This shrine was a member of the greatness that the first shrine was. With it, I listened and learned more of the language unknown. I was yet again in a trance when my old friend awoke me. He had finally found me after 3 moons passed. As he shouted at me for foolish ventures, we both were interrupted by the farewell of the new shrine. It was gone in an instant, just as the one before. Weeks passed, and my friend and I had almost lost interest in our conversations of the shrine. We found ourselves on a more terrestrial wander, the extreme grandeur of a land ablaze, a lava storm. It was on this land that I encountered another friend from my past, the first shrine. The shrine had appeared to me, popped into existence in the blink of an eye right before us, as if it was there the whole time. What was amazing was that when at first I met the shrine, it was spellbinding and its runes indecipherable. But now I could partially comprehend what I read upon the shrine. The shrine's language was almost mine, but I could learn no more from this one. My friend and I stayed at the shrine and planned to make camp there, but the dangers of the region forced us to abandon our safe haven. I left that land with more than the sights I had seen. I knew now that there were a few more of these shrines. I could feel them. I bid farewell to my friend as he boarded the far trotter for other sights. I must go on alone in search of the remaining shrines. I can tell you the end of this tale, dear reader, but the mystery must not be destroyed. In a sense, the mystery was what aided in my comprehension of the new language of each of archmages and magical beasts. I know Drizaic, and you now know it lives in our realm. Seek the splendor and song when you are in your journeys. Seek the dancing lights and the brilliant spheres of Kab, Zet, Uzur, and Mir. These are your keys to Drizaic, language of pure magic. And so normally when you read that, you'll get the quest Words of Pure Magic, which has you go around to various places looking for the Drizaic shrines to spawn. And then you can click on those and get updates to your quest along the way. Now, I just picked up the Words of Zeberuk. It's very, very impressive. Oh yes, if you look at that, it says this item can be placed on the floor in any housetop, and the completed book can be placed in your house and read. So, we are going to examine it. Oh, we already did examine it. All is well. Excellent. Alright, so we have the Sage here. Sage has some spells. Not spells, I mean to say, he has some books for sale, that give you quests. And, some of them are pretty lengthy, I would say. There's a good number of them here. I'm not going to start on these because, again, they are a little bit lengthier than I'm intending to deal with. I don't remember this one, Zaphos Celestial Guide to the Stars. I don't recall what that is. I think I'll leave it alone for now. Now is not the time, but we will keep in mind that it's there for the future. So now we've checked out the blue, we've checked out the yellow, and we need to check out the red portal, I believe. I just jumped down because I am a scout who's trying to get up my safe fall. But for those of you who do not have safe fall, I recommend going into the shiny portal instead of jumping down an incredibly long, I would say stairwell, but there's no stairs. So long fall with a short stop is what it is. Now, back to our search for the Lore and Legend book for, that's the Commander's Wife. That's not it. That is a quest, but it's not the quest that I'm looking for. Ah, there we are. Okay, so to be more descriptive, this little table has on it a stack of 2 books and a scroll. The Origins of Shadowed Men is is in the stack of books. I just was distracted by my guild chat. Dorkala says hello, and then I must eat worms, as is the way. Huh, is it though? Interesting. Want to do some adventuring instead? There. Now, we do not have this lore and legend, but we also do not have room in the journal for anything. So the question is, what shall I temporarily destroy in order to get what I want? I could destroy Mushroom Madness, but that would mean I would have to go, oh, I see, of course. I see what Dorkala is saying. He says, nobody loves me, everybody hates me. So the reference would be, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, guess I'll just eat worms, right? The song. And so apparently no one said hello to Dorkala when he logged in, hence the I must eat worms. Makes sense. Alright, well, that's a city task. I don't want to get that right now. Obviously I don't want to dump the Return of the Light. Really want to keep my city tasks if possible. Don't really so far. I mean, I like all of these things. Here's one that I can delete. This is a repeatable from Holly Rowan. I've already done some of her repeatables, and I'm not planning to go kill any giants right now, so there we go. Got that taken care of, and now we can read this, On the Origins of Shadowed Men, which is going to give us the Shadowed Men lore and legend at the end. Here's what it says. On the Origins of Shadowed Men by Professor Romiak Justithorn, being an excerpt of a longer piece, including only information as is relevant. These mysterious, it's an interesting sentence, including only information as is relevant, these mysterious beings' origins. I think we missed a word there. Much of this information is still hotly debated at the highest circles of academia. Afterward, by Pearl Honeywine. Now that's the one who gives you the quest that goes and takes you around to Commonlands, I believe, and then Thundering Steps. Okay, anyway, she's in Kinos Harbor if you want to explore that. But this excerpt is from the Lore of Fauna by Professor Romeo Justithorn of the Academy of Arcane Sciences, Republic of Freeport. The date of this particular volume is unknown. An overview. The Shadowed Men are an intelligent planar humanoid of evil tendencies. They are secretly operating on a multitude of worlds. Hello, Kasei Tanya 212. A weird portal opens. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I skipped forward here. They hail from a planar realm called the Void. They exist in a partial phantasmal state. They appear invisible at first, and when attacking, appear out of nowhere. A weird portal opens, and an eerie humanoid torso breaks through to attack. They use both magical weapons and spoken spells from their realm. Oh, my streaming's going just fine. How are you doing? You doing any EverQuesting today? Their origins. Shadowed men are first recorded to have appeared on Norath in the Age of Turmoil. Shadowed men are beings of the mana flow that appear as near-invisible beings wielding items usually visible, indicating that they are not attempting to hide, but rather are unable to fully materialize within our plane of existence. Delusional trotters within the Freeport Infirmary have claimed to have journeyed to the Void and have returned with knowledge of the Shadowed Men's existence within the mana flow, but in a corporeal state. These Shadowed Men appear as humanoids with shaded, blurry features and 4 arms. There is little knowledge of the Shadowed Men, but of all I know, I have come to some conclusions as to their nature. Oh, excellent. Go ahead and ask your questions, Kase. Shadowed men hail from the mana flow. They appear globally and use a black obsidian monolith as means of entering our plane. These shadow monoliths appear in any area with shadow men activity. When the Shadowed Man activity ceases, the monolith vanishes. In further discussion with those few patients in the infirmary, I have deduced that the Shadowed Men have a citadel within our realm, one neither here nor there. Any entering this citadel will find no activity. Within this citadel is a means of entering a pocket of their plane of existence and turning this citadel inside out. Enter this pocket, and all Shadowed Men in their true citadel should appear before one's very eyes. Shadowed Men have knowledge of many skills and hail from many of the known classes. Known classes of the Shadowed Men include monk, warrior, priest, and dark art mages. They also have special spells relating to the mana flow. It is my main game, Cassie. I've only been streaming for a little bit over a week, but I've played EverQuest since shortly after it came out. I think I started in January or February of that year. One spell shall partially swallow up an area into the mana flow, and thereby making all things touched by it invisible. The items carried by these beings always dematerialize after a short time, sucked back to the dimension it is a part of. The Shadowed Men on Norath are here under the will of a greater power from their native plane. They serve this unknown power in a search for something of great value upon our realm. That's where the quest is offered, but we'll finish reading this bit. Afterward, the information presented by the very eminent Professor Justathorn includes references to items that have not been proven to exist in modern Norath. Also, the modern reader must keep in mind that Professor Justathorn lived in a different era, one during which research such as his was quite widespread, and thus may include concepts which were in vogue at the time but are perhaps lacking somewhat in the factual department. In any event, there is no denying that stories of the Shadowed Men persist, and so any monolith, such as the one in the Fearet, should be approached with extreme care. Any information you may learn about Shadowed Men may be forwarded to me, Pearl Honeywine, for verification. Oh, interesting. Elixia says that he somehow crafted something without using any material. Kalthia says that can happen. It's a rare counter, right? Alright, so now we have the Shadowed Men lore and legend. We'll go ahead and tick that off because we don't need feathers showing up on the Shadowed Men for, for all eternity until I get that done. So on we go, and I'm gonna jump. You know what? I'll do 2 hops. I'll jump down to here, and then I'll jump all the way the rest of the way. Give me another opportunity. Oh well, that was an accident, but that's okay. Actually ended up giving myself 3 opportunities to get my safe fall up. Neither of them helped very much. Now, onward toward the I think I need to go to Walruxa before I go anywhere else, because he has an update for my Boots Were Made For Heritage Quest. Alright, I have a little bit of room in my bags, not a ton, but I think I have enough to go out on this endeavor. Which games do I mostly like to play? So EverQuest is one that I've, as mentioned, been playing a long time, and I've only had one real lengthy break from it. Otherwise, I've played pretty steadily throughout the time that I have been playing it. Other games that I've played along the way in the same vein would be I did do that 10-day pass they used to have for World of Warcraft back in I want to say it was 2009 when I did that. I haven't played it since then. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I did give it a shot. I played Guild Wars. Tried that one out when it first came out. Not the second one. Never did try that. I tried the first one. It was it just wasn't where I wanted it to be. I've heard that Guild Wars 2 is much better, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't even given it a try. Maybe someday I will, but right now I'm definitely just kind of focusing on EverQuest 2 for the most part. I did see that there are some particular games that viewers can get rewarded for watching. And for that reason, I've considered trying to stream one of them, or maybe, you know, a little of each of them at some point, just to basically give my viewers a chance to be able to get some in-game rewards for watching. I think that's pretty cool. So there's that. I did play City of Heroes, City of Villains whenever that existed, and I would go back to it probably every few months and play there a couple of weeks, and then come back to EverQuest 2. I just ran the wrong direction for a while. I was apparently gonna head over to this color popular over there. Can't be having that. But anyhow, yeah. So I played City of Heroes and City of Villains, and we actually had a guild over there. It wasn't a huge one, but like I said, I only would go over there every few months when it was in its heyday. Unfortunately, they shut that one down. Speaking of that kind of game that got shut down, there was Star Wars Galaxies, if you remember that. And I played on there a little bit, not much. My computer at the time was really unable to handle Star Wars Galaxies, and just really unbelievably bad as far as my ability to play it, because the lag was so horrendous. It's a little, it's kind of indescribable, really, how bad it was to try to play. I would have to zoom into the ground and be staring at the ground, and then try to follow someone to get somewhere for an update or something. Because if I looked up, even on the most highest performance that I could have it on, it was still impossible to move for me. So I didn't, even though I did play it for a little while, I didn't have a lot of experience with it in any sort of real fashion. I made a dancer on there. I think the term was entertainer, but I just made a bunch of macros
nice
for dancing.
Indeed. These samples will make a wonderful sword. I'm sure that Ito will be pleased once I get a chance to make it for her.
All right, so I'm going to say I hope so. That was a lot of work.
Speaking of work, all this smithing is thirsty business. You wouldn't mind helping me curb a guilty pleasure, would you? No, of course you wouldn't.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Don't be. It's not traditional and it's hard to come by, but I could really go for a Blackburrow stout. Now back to the forge.
A dwarf drinking no brew? Alright, so that is gonna be down there at the bottom of Blackburrow. We can go in the back entrance for that. And I may as well get that done. Well, thank you, Kesse. I wasn't really sure how I was doing with the streaming. I'm just doing my, I don't know, I'm just doing my best to kind of ramble a lot and do one thing and then another. Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I've been enjoying meeting the people in the channel, and I've even went out adventuring with one of them one day. So it's been a fun experience overall. I feel like I have a pretty decent amount of knowledge of the game that I have known at one point or another, which doesn't mean that I can deliver that knowledge very well. But, and I've forgotten so much of it. It's crazy to be running along and going, oh man, what was that guy's name again? You know, or the name of that location. I'm especially having trouble, strangely, with the newer zones and things. You would think it would be the older ones, but actually it's some of the newer stuff in the game that I have trouble remembering the name of. Just so you guys know, if you need the Windstalker Rumbler, he's going to be right in this same area where I'm at right now. He'll be a huge fella just kind of sitting around in the cave here. He's an epic by 2, but he's not as hard as you might think. There's no reason that you would need 2 full groups for it, but you can't. You'd only be able to do him with 1 group at the most. Well, thank you, Kesse. I appreciate the compliment. But otherwise, you can use this cave as a shortcut between the northern part of Antonica and, say, if you want to go mended over, get mended at the Mender Hut, this is a good way to do it. In my case, I'm just running across the world to get over to the back entrance of Blackburrow, which should be a nice, easier way to get down to the brew. So, as far as my jobs go outside of here, I do a number of things. I've got Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash that I sometimes do, and also I have written a few books, most of them under my name, but a couple of them under pseudonyms. So that's mostly what I do, though, is the Uber. I would say Uber more than anything else. If I end up getting enough income from the streaming to justify it, I would like to do it full time. But you know, it's good to break it up with some physical activity anyway, though. So I have no complaints whatsoever about that. There's actually also an underwater entrance over here, if you see this cave. And that might be the quickest way to get to the brewery. If you go up this and around there where I'm showing, there's an entrance in a hole underneath, like a tree stump, I think, back there. I think I'm gonna go through the underwater entrance to make it a little closer than that. The one underneath the tree back there takes you into it's the area where the wisps are. So you'll go down the hallway, and then you'll be in the area where the wisps are, and I would say the gnolls, but there's gnolls all over that place. Well, thank you again, Kesse. It's very nice. I'm glad that I'm able to entertain people and hopefully deliver some decent tips along the way. Unfortunately, I've forgotten more about this game than the amount remains that I know, so. Alright, now, you see we are in the brewery. There are a few different things in here that are relevant for different quests. This one is these boots were made for, and we're looking for some stout. Let's see here. We can click this barrel at the top, and that'll give us the update that we need for that. There's a name who spawns in here sometimes. Let's see if I can find him. Bucky. There's also a saber-tooth champion. That's, yeah. That's not something I've seen up in a while, but Bucky is up here pretty often. Alright, got my brew. And now I'm going to head back up and update that quest with Wall north of the let's call it the Windstalker Rumbler Cave, or the Rumbler. It's not really Rumbler Cave, but Windstalker Rumbler Cave would be accurate. This is where we're at on the map. This is the entrance, and this is where you'll want to go in order to get here. Now, Gawar the Bad, it shows him on the map. He can certainly spawn there. He's for a quest. Can't think of what the quest name is. I want to say it's part of the access quest for going to Zek. Initially is what it was. Not 100% on that. It's been a little while. I'm also from the United States. To give you some sort of frame of reference, it is 2:26 p.m. here where I'm at. CST. I've actually seen that it seems like a number of my followers are from Europe, which I was surprised by. I think I had kind of expected most of them to be from the United States, because primarily because the hours align, right? And also because there are more people in America than in Europe, I would say. Do I know about affiliation? Are you referring to like becoming a streamer, affiliate streamer, or are you referring to something in game? Affiliate streamer, yes. I have checked out the requirements to become an affiliate, and I think I would need a couple more days where I average at least, I think it was, you have to have an average of 3 viewers for the day that are concurrent, right? So they would have to be on at the same time and, you know, throughout the day. And you have to do that for 4 days out of a 30-day period. I've only been streaming for, I want to say 8 days now, and so I haven't met that requirement yet. I have been getting some decent numbers on the concurrent streaming, and it's all going much better than I actually anticipated, because you know, I know how things are. It takes a little while to get going, so I didn't really have a lot of high expectations regarding turnout, and I'm definitely doing better in that regard than I would have anticipated. I also saw that there's a partner thing. I don't know anything more about that either, really. I'm going to see if I can run over the mountains. I've done it before, but it's been a while. And yes, it looks like this is going to work out. Alright. Normally I run through the cave, but I remembered doing this in the past as well. So my channel is looking weak. Well, see, that's just the way things are. I feel like I'm pretty happy with it at the moment, nonetheless. Some cool identity to my stream. Well, you know, it's a possibility. I would say that I'm trying to kind of keep it casual, not trying to go too crazy with it, because I'm trying to use the gaming as a way to relax, and so I don't want to stress about it too much. Also, I was again going to Scholar Al-Kular instead of over here to Hual, like I intended to. Just so you know, that's where Scholar Al-Kular is. He is back behind the Tower of Oracles. Alrighty, so we've got Wall here, and here's what he has to say.
Well done! Nothing hits the spot like a good keg of the stout.
If you say so, I wouldn't touch that no filth with a 10-foot polearm.
Oh, you've been trustworthy thus far. I think you'd be perfect to help me out with me dear old granddad.
Oh no, I draw the line at convalescent care.
Don't be silly. He's been dead for more than a century. But, well, you see, there's this family curse that goes back every other generation for the past, Rose Flame, I don't know how many years, but a long dang time.
Now you're going to tell me he's some sort of ghost?
Oh, so you've heard of the old Ruxiv curse? Jolly good. I just need you to totter off and see if you can lay him to rest properly.
Never heard of a ghost around here before.
He's the quiet sort. Doesn't really get out to bother anyone these days. Oh, sure, he used to be a real terror out here in Antonica, but he's gotten quiet in his old age. Spends most of his time moaning and groaning underneath that bard's tower.
I guess I'll see what I can do.
That's the spirit. Give him my best. Brel guide his path.
You should be guiding his path. Alright, so now I'm on the step to get Wall's grandfather. Now, if we look over here, we can check out the heritage quests. These boots were made for. It shows it's in Mazen's cellar. That's underneath the, brain is not remembering names. Valen's Bells. Tower of Valen, of course, that's what it's called. Over here, Bells of Valen. And this is the tower that the bells are in. So when you decide to do that, you can go do that there. I am not going to go do that currently because I do want to make it over to those shadow men in Neck Forest. Okay, as for your comment, Cassie, yeah, you know, it might be better with custom logos and banners and things. I do have custom logos and banners that I made. But I'm actually very pleased with it at the moment. What I do need to work on is getting a better laptop set up so that I can, first of all, have a num lock on my keyboard. It's, you know, you don't know how much you miss it until you don't have it. Yes, the middle mouse button does work to make it auto run, but I definitely prefer the num lock key. Just as better all the way around. You know what I should have done is taken the Griffin Tower because the Griffin Tower, because I forgot that I had intended to um to take the uh docks over to Neck Forest and get in that way, because for one thing, there's a shiny in that area around the Thundermist docks that I really enjoy grabbing on my way through, and the off chance that I may get a shiny that I really badly need for my desperately seeking ants quest. Looking for that striped red shiny still. Believe it or not, days later, still looking for the same shiny. Not as if I've been sitting there grinding for it, but nonetheless, the time has passed in the real world in spite of what I may have been doing in the game. And still need that striped red ant. Hopefully soon it'll be popping up for me. And if I use every opportunity that I go through there, gather at least one shiny, eventually it's going to happen. The run across Antonica is just insane. The fact that it used to be split into two maps because it was such a large zone. As far as I remember, it was anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it went just east of where the cave entrance for Blackburrow starts. Just a little bit east of that, there was a split, and your map was in two halves to cover all of Antonica. Yeah, the reason I need a second monitor, Cassie, is because I need to have one that shows me the chat. Right now I'm using my phone to do that. And while the chat feature is cool to have on the phone in the app, I think that I would see a lot more of what's going on if it was on a second monitor. Right now I can't actually see my followers unless they chat in the channel, so I don't know who they are. Or I can see my followers, but I can't see my viewers. I think that there's a way to do that if you have a second monitor. I was told there's a little emblem in the upper right hand corner of the chat window that it looks like a little person, and that you can click on that to see who your follower or your watchers are. As things stand, I'm just basically stumbling around in the dark, trying to figure out things as I go. And that's in all respects. So that's one of my current goals, is to get a better laptop so that I can then get a second monitor and be able to view the chat as I'm going. and well, like I can view the chat right now, but view more aspects of the chat. For instance, I can't, I don't get any kind of message whenever I get new, like say I complete a new goal or you guys complete a goal. I don't get a notification about that. I have to just, I'll notice it later on. Do I have Discord? I technically do have Discord. I don't really use it very much. So, yes and no, I would say to that. I know it's a big deal for a lot of people. They use it for all of their gaming stuff. And I remember I used to use it more regularly when doing some raiding type stuff. And prior to that, we had something called TeamSpeak before Discord existed. To my knowledge, it didn't exist anyway. TeamSpeak, I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but that was a thing we used to use when grouping and raiding before Discord. Discord username, huh? Well, I'm not on that screen at the moment. Perhaps I can figure out what it is later on and post it in a future stream. Don't really want to hop over and do the Discord thing at the moment, though. First, I've got to kill this undead settler before anything else happens. And now to grab the shiny that I almost ran out without getting. That would have been hilarious. I'm going to get attacked and then run away before I mess with getting the shiny I went to get. Let's see here. I'm all mended up. Don't know that I have anything that I want to sell, but I may go ahead and check on that anyway. Just in case I don't remember something from the bags. Now you may think that this is vendor trash right here, the fragmented turquoise, but if you read it, it says a few small pieces what look to be turquoise. This item can be used in crafting as a substitute for rough turquoise. Now it only sells for 17 copper, so I think that it would behoove me to use it as turquoise instead of a chunk of turquoise. Also, just to point out, this right here looks like a work order station, and it is a work order station. It is for some mercenary contracts in this zone, so you can pick it up and get a few quests from that one. Onward to Nick Forest. I've almost forgotten my purpose, but it's to hunt shadowed men, partially for the mercenary contract and partially for the there's another work order station right here, and partially for the lore and legend updates that's going to give us. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the griffin, and we'll say, it doesn't really matter which way to say to go, but we're going to say to go to the Commonlands station, and then we're going to jump off partway, because there are shadowed men over to the northeast of us right now, and it's a great place to get those hunted. Gonna go ahead and jump here. Could have waited a little longer, but hey, it seemed like the right thing to do. The Shadowed Man is what we're looking for. And as you can see, as we run along, they are getting closer. There they are. Now, I note that there are blue heroics to me at the moment over here. I don't want any blue heroics. Would much rather have some that are a little bit less terrible in my life. Dayswinds really appreciated seeing me though. And I am going to just run from them. And then we're going to see if there are any shadowed men around that are not blue. Or if they're not heroic. Either one will be fine. They may all be, in which case they will all be a little higher than I'm probably interested in attacking, because blue heroics can be pretty gross on this server. I might could do it. I think I may give it a shot, just to see if I can knock one of them out. Alright, let's see here. Try to miss this one. Maybe I can take this guy before they hit me. Alright, one down. Then we'll run, call for help. And I did get an update on my lore and legend Shadowed Men, and an update on my Slave Shadowed Men quest. So it is feasible that I could hunt them one by one. Ooh, they are still on me. Thought they would be off by now. Had I only paid more attention. Alright, there we go. Next step is to see if we left anybody behind over there. I don't see one from here, but we'll go ahead and get closer. Yep, there it is. I don't have my graphics on high level of detail or anything crazy like that, so I cannot see as well. Let's see if anyone wants to come help. Go ahead and sort by current zone, because I actually have a lot of quests here. And one of them is dropping off supplies, and you get spawned on as you do that by some smugglers, I believe. Alright, so here's one of the supply drop-off points. You just click this barrel, and there's the guy. It's a pretty simple quest. I may as well get that knocked out. This portion of it. Let's see which one I'm still missing. Oh, I guess that was the only one I've actually done. So I'll need one at the southeast edge of the beach, and one on the beach to the northwest of Broom's tent. I think we will go get the one on the southwest corner first, and then come back for that last one. There's also, I think, maybe Blunder Bubble grandmother. You see her who wanders. I don't know. There she is, Grandma Blumble. Wanders along here. So if you have the quest from Blumble to find his grandmother, that's the one you want. Now, the tent we need is right over here, right by this forest leaper. And we'll get this update and be attacked by a little dude right there. And then we have one more of those, and we'll have finished that quest. Also kind of keeping my eye out halfway for a shiny, because those are always fun. Anytime I see one, I am going to be grabbing it. Sometimes at great personal risk. Sorry about that. My phone rang right beside the computer. So this is going to be the place. Give me just a second. But this is going to be the place I'm going to want to get that last update for this. Oh. Oh my goodness. It's not. Let's see. Northwest of Broom's tent. Really, this ought to be the one. Maybe not. Let's see. It may not be there yet. Okay, maybe I need to run this way a little more for the right tent. Well, we have these tents over here. They shouldn't be the right ones. This is going to be the nearest tents. I suppose I'll fight these guys real quick. The key when can have something missed is not to target it directly. You should be able to do an AoE like this. You just can't target the guy, or else it will break the mist. Well, let's see here. We come over here. We should be able to see that this is Brune's tent, I believe. Yes, okay. So this is Brune's tent. It said to go northwest, and that's where the tent was. Okay, alright, so I was at the wrong tent. I had gone too far, perhaps? Alright. Good to know. Alright, so that was my last supply drop off for that quest. And then I go update with Brune to let him know I delivered the supplies.
Salutations.
He says, have you completed your tasks yet? And I say, yes, I've delivered the supplies to the servants. He says, and you're still alive. I'm impressed. Take this and speak with me again when you're ready for your next task. I say, thank you, and I accept that 17 silver with a smile. Then we talk to him again.
Met.
He says, congratulations, you're not as incompetent as I thought. Were the scouts nice to you? I say, real funny, you told them to attack me, didn't you? He says they have standing orders to attack anyone they do not recognize, so yes and no. Do you still wish to learn more about our order? And I say, I suppose. He says, if you travel around the beach, you will find several groups of filthy humans. One of these camps holds the tents of both the tactician and the commander. You know, the guys I just killed. We've heard rumors that the pirates are planning to expand off the beach and deeper into the forest. We do not wish this, of course. I need you to find the tactician's tent and steal the attack plans. Can you handle that? And I say, yes, I can. I'll return shortly with the plans. So then we'll accept that quest. He says, good, be quick about it. And I say, of course, because, you know, of course. Now, that being said, I just killed the tactician and friends, sadly. But we'll hop over there and look around anyway, because maybe we can find the attack plans over there. Good news, the tactician is back. So, let's go ahead and grab him and get that quest knocked out, hopefully. I see that his buddy was not with him this time. But there are the plans anyway. That was a scroll on the table in case you missed it. And so we'll take the plans over to Brune Kavir. Alright. This is part 1 of Trust Must Be Earned. I don't know if you noticed that, but if it says part 1, you can expect there to be more than one part. We say hello.
Well met.
He says, have you completed your tasks yet? I say yes. Here are the attack tasks. He gives me my silver and then says, good work. I'll give these to Sin. Take this for your time and return to me later. I have more tasks for you. And I say I will. And the fact is that later is now, friends.
Hello.
So here we are. Those plans were quite useful. More so than you, in fact. Nonetheless, I cannot ignore the aid you have provided, no matter how much I dislike that you have potential. I will give you another chance to earn our trust if you think you can handle a real task. And I say, I can handle anything you can give. And he says, I need you to find the tactician and commander and scour them from this beach. The plans for taking over the forest were more involved than we thought possible of their little human brains. Can you handle that? And I say, I can. Accept the quest. Go quickly before they begin to move. And I say, okay. And the guy that we just killed twice now, we can give another shot at killing again. Somehow, shadowed men killing turned into pirate killing instead, but hey, I'll take it. Let's see. Let's kill some of these folks. Cassie, I'm currently doing the EverQuest too, but I can have a look at it later if you want to leave your Discord handle there in chat. I'll be sure to come and have a look at it later on. Gonna kill this nearest commander at the moment. Alright, one down. And now we'll just need the tactician to spawn. And we can knock that one out. And meanwhile, I'm just going to look through here and see if there's anything that I want to grab that's nearby while I wait. Oh, there he is right there. Nearest tactician. That was very fast. So I suppose I'll go and kill him real quick. Yeah, absolutely, Cassie. You can write your Discord name and channel, or you can send it to me, I think, in a whisper. I believe you should be able to do that if you prefer. Alright, so we got the commander and the tactician taken care of. Alright, thanks. I will have a look at that once I stop streaming for the day. Or for the moment anyway. Maybe not for the day, maybe just for this time period. Alright, now to go talk to Brun Kavir. He says, you have performed well. You show an interest in knowing why we are here. The book I gave you will answer many of your questions. You should feel honored. Few have even touched that book in centuries. And so he has given me a history of the Order of Nectalos. We'll accept that. And I say, you do realize that this book is blank, do you not? He says, yes. This, of course, isn't going to be, oh, let's go sit under a tree and read this book. You should know better. These pages are shielded with an arcane magic beyond the comprehension of most mortal beings. It requires blood to reveal the truth written in its pages. You will know what kind of blood it desires when the time comes. And I'm going to say this better be good and not a set of ogre poetry. He says all you have to do is take a look at the book and it will take you from there. If you manage to read the entire thing, come back and speak with Torque. He has more tasks for you if you wish to continue with the trials. And I say I will. Hey there, Shadow. How you doing? I saw you wave, but I was in mid oration, so. Alright, let's see here. Let's have a look at that book you gave us and start that quest line. Maybe. Yes, I do have room because I just finished this one. Makes sense. Cool. Alright, it says, this is the book that was given to me by Brune Kavir of the Order of Nectalos. The first page is visible, but he says that once I feed the book blood, the entire story of the trials will be revealed to me. Entry 1. Accept that quest. The Order of Nectalos was created during the times of the first Emperor of Neriac. The purpose of the Order is to test, train, and weed out the weak among the young Dark Elf warriors. All young warriors must first face these trials before they are allowed to join the ranks of soldiers who patrol the realm outside First Gate. This is the way of the Teardal warrior. And now, I don't have any more that I can read yet, so I'll click put away. And if you look in the journal, it says I need the blood of 5 Nereus fiddlers, of which I currently have 0, of course. May as well go and do that. It's a nice, easy mission. Got number 1. Let's see, it's specifically Nereus fiddlers. So I will type in FID on here so that we can find the closest Nereus fiddlers. Could have just run forward and found it, but hey, you never know. Alright, 3 of 5 of those. There's another one right in sight. I believe that any of these Nereus crabs on the beach here can spawn as fiddlers, so if you run out of fiddlers around, you can respawn them by killing the crabs, I believe. But we're going to go ahead and run over toward the west part, because there might be some around. I saw there's an imperious Nereus crab, it looks like. Ferocious, rather. He is aggro, but we're not going to worry about him too much unless he's still on me now, which he isn't, so. Alright, and now we are going to look at the book again. Put that. Oh, he's a roller point. Oh no, there's so many. Suppose I will miss this guy. Continue on with these ones. That one broke, unfortunately. So I may have to run from these guys. It's looking like it. We don't want to run into that ferocious Nereus crab right there, so. Not going well here, so I think I'm going to break and run for it. Alright, we'll come get a bit of regen up here where it's a little bit safer. Alright, and while I'm here, I can look at this book. We examined the book. We've already read entry 1 and page 1. And now, so we're going to click entry 2. Well, it says the weak never survive long in the forest. Whether they are cut down by another dark elf, fall in a pit out of stupidity, they are always shown for what they are. Contestants usually number around 10 to 15, and no more than one can ever be called to truly called winner. Survivor, yes, but not winner. So now we need the blood of one nearest hermit, found rarely on the beach. And so we will look for a hermit. Apparently today is our lucky day because even though it may be rare, we have it now, right there. So we'll go ahead and get him. Easy enough. And time to have another look at that book. We saw entry 1 and 2 already. So let's look at entry 3. The one who proves strongest takes the title and must remain to be challenged by the next tier doll who attempts to win the trials. If the challenger does not prove himself in the final battle, he is stripped of the title and sent back to the rank of soldier. So we put that away. Now we need the blood of 3 shoreline barracudas. Well, that's going to be in the water, obviously, and we'll go ahead and type it in here. I don't think it's going to be hard to find shoreline barracudas, but we will run along said shore in search of them. And there's one right there. It's going to be out here in the water a little ways. So, shoreline barracuda right there. Good news is we only need 3 of these, so even though we have to be in the dreaded water in order to get it, we can manage. Now one more go and he's right in front of us. Simple enough, right? There we are, 3 of 3. And we'll dip some more blood on some more pages because that's what we do with our lives these days. So we got entry 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to get entry 4. Trials are not for the weak. Many have and will continue to fall through the dangers and the will of the forest. It is a living, breathing thing and should never be traversed or even contemplated with anything but respect and caution. Now we need the blood of 3 dusk darts. That's another kind of fish, so we're going to head back out this direction. 4 darts. Alright, and here's one here. Shows on the map out here. Number 1 of 3 of those. Lots and lots of shoreline barracudas hanging around. Not as many of the dusk darts. There's one. Dusk dart. It's another of those tongue twisters, you know? It's almost dust dart, that's what you want to say. Or you could say dust dark and still be equally confused. Gonna I got one more down there. Shadow, did you ever get the heritage quest for the Return of the Light? I'm gonna examine this book again and drip some more blood on pages. So we got entry 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's entry 5. None. There wasn't one. Excellent. Not in a great hurry for it, huh? Oh, you left your guild. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, let's see what our options are for the rewards. I like to do this sometimes so that I can see them side by side. I definitely have no interest in the intelligence one. The strength one is pretty good amount of strength. Actually the losses aren't so much that I care. So I think I may get the girdle of the contestant. And I may even use it. I am sorely tempted. I would lose some things, but as far as DPS goes, I feel like it could behoove me to go ahead and put that girdle on. Yeah, I'd much rather have it than the others. I think that might be a good answer here. So at least for the moment, I'll switch that up. If it... Oh yeah, Shadow, go ahead. You can ask me a question anytime. I was just discussing with everyone my choice of belt, apparently, so. Alright, got that quest knocked out of the way. Certainly a good one to be done with. This is just an update. I ought to get that done. I believe he's up. Thought he was up toward the lake out there, but maybe not. That's a zone over there. It's an instance. Oh, Hand of the Light. So Hand of the Light is, it's pretty much my guild. We've had it for a long time. It was formed by us. Well, okay. Initially, Children of the Light was my guild, and that's on Modge Duel. Our guild has been longtime friends with another guild on that server called Hand of Torment. And so when we initially came over to one of the temporary servers together, it was on Race to Trakamon. And when we did that, we joined together and made Hand of the Light. And since then, whenever we go to another server, such as this one, we've been calling it Hand of the Light. As for whether we're accepting new members, you know, yes and no. It's we're not publicly recruiting, but we are basically playing, and this is the way we've always done. We'll play with someone, and if that person is a good fit over a period of time, then we'll invite them to join the guild. But it's it's one of those deals where pretty much the people who join the guild are normally, you know, they don't really leave as a general rule, because it's kind of a very friend-like thing, and it's pretty much we just make sure that the people are all really good fits with everyone before we invite anyone in. Yeah, we some of the people in this guild have been friends, and we met online many years ago, and so there's at least a couple of the people in the guild who we met back, I'm going to say 20 years ago now. So, yeah, that's kind of the way we do it. But if you're interested in joining, like I said, we would just play with you, and if it all meshed very well, then at some point one of us would say, "Hey, would you be interested in joining?" Oh yeah, no problem. I'm gonna hop over to the entrance to the Commonlands and make sure, or check rather, if Shell Morgan is over there or not. Now this, in case you wondered where Kitty Valencia is, if you have that quest where you were trying to talk to Kitty Valencia for an update, that's where it's going to send you, is the very tip, the southern tip of this island, which is Pond with Behemoth, the island with Behemoth Pond on it. It's not the name of this little island. I don't know right off what the name is. I'm going to get all the mushroom defenders in the world on me for no reason whatsoever. Hopefully they won't stun me and then swarm me like the little fungi they are. They tried it. Did you see that? That was a close one. Almost got swarmed by fungus. Could still happen because I just saw some other ones as I ran by. Alright, so we've got some folks around here who have some feathers and would like me to do some of their quests, but I really am going to hold off on picking those up for now because my journal, as you know, is pretty dang full. So then I'm going to go toward... I think I'm going to go toward the Bone Lake Griffin Tower, because I feel like that might be more where Bell Morgan is at. Can't remember. You know what? While we fly, I'll come and have a look. There he is. So yes, that is the guy I want over there by Bone Lake. I thought it was, but sometimes my memory is foggy for such things. Now, Shadow, I was going around earlier to my followers and checking to see, well, initially I went and wanted to follow all of them just in case they do some streaming, then I could see what they do. But I found out that there's a very small amount of channels, I think, that that a person can follow at one time, or at least I seemed to hit that cap very quickly. But I believe going back through it to make sure to only be following the ones who had streamed somewhat recently. I believe you're streaming as well, right? Or at least you have in the past. Oh yeah, no problem. I'm hoping to figure out this raiding thing, and my goal is if I'm about to get off and take a break or get off for the day, that that if I can kind of figure out how to do this better, maybe I could raid a channel of one of my followers who's I understand that they have to be streaming at the time in order to send someone over to their account, but I figure if I'm following enough of my friends, or my following enough of my followers, then surely one of them will be streaming when I get off. I don't know what the cap is. Yeah, I only watched, I want to say I watched part of one of the videos that you had on there. I didn't get very far in it because I was just kind of checking people's channels to see when they had last streamed and what I could see of what they had going on, so that I have some kind of an idea of what kind of gaming that my followers do um, in their own time. So, all right. So Shell Morgan says, "Any luck?" And I say, "I told Amy Borghese that I found her sister." He says, "So you passed along the good news, eh? If you don't mind one last little thing, my superiors sent word that they want me to take a look at Blackwater Lake. They've heard there's something mysterious going on that way. I don't think it's anything, so just take a quick look, and we're done." And I say, "Blackwater Lake? All right, I'll be back." That is to our south a good deal. It's right there. See? Right there. And so I could fly down to Namar's Ascent and get there fairly quickly. Yeah, I didn't think you were talking in the one that I saw. Like I said, I didn't see very much of it, so I didn't know
traveler.
if that was the norm or if that's just your way of doing it. What kind of music do you play? I didn't hear any music in the one that I was watching, but what kind of music do you listen to, or is it just a variety? Oh, I see. Okay, you can only hear it live. Is it a? I'm sure it's a copyright situation, right? All right, pop music. So it's modern pop. Ooh, that one hurt. But my save file went up, so all is well. Oh, you have a license to play it now. That's interesting. If you have a license to play it, why does it not let you have it um, on the VODs? I wonder. And if you upload to YouTube, will it play on there? Or so like, is it only the Twitch VODs that don't have it, or both? Oh, 80s plus pop. You gotta throw some Weird Al on there just to like mix it up a bit, you know? you could call some of his stuff pop whenever at least he's doing a version of song. Gotta get a little, I think I'm a clone now going on, you know? Oh, I see. Right, because you had mentioned being in Europe. I see. Let's see where we're at on this map. South of Mars Ascent. So the next question is your first language English or something else? Ah, Danish and French. You know, I was leaning toward German, just purely based on the name. I thought that Shadow's Rat sounded like a German thing to do, you know?
Hello.
Danish, I would not have guessed. Yeah, oh yeah. I can see French though. I think it's your French side that's influenced your name here, I think. Oh, that's okay about your spelling. Yes, occasionally it's off, but the fact is that a lot of Americans are not so great at that either. So, and native English speakers in general aren't always perfect. This is an interesting thing we have going on where the griffins keep appearing on my screen. I don't know if you guys are seeing that, but it's an interesting little bug going on. Visual disturbance. All right. Now we will click on Shell Morgan.
Well met.
He says, "How's Blackwater Lake?" And I say, at a quick glance, Blackwater Lake looks fine. If only I could spend more time investigating things. See, now we're just asking for it, right? He says, "Investigating is rather fascinating, isn't it? You've saved me an enormous amount of time, my friend. Take care on your travels. Now, or no, sorry. Now I'll have time to worry over the other cases I'm trying to solve." And I say farewell. And then we're going to have a look at this. It's an 8-slot, no trade, no value bag. Not amazing, but we'll take it. At the time when this came out, it was a bigger deal than it is now, because right now I'm sitting here with 18 slot bags. And I don't know if that's the max for bag size on this server. No, it isn't, because this is well, okay, maybe. I don't know. The possibilities abound. I don't know enough about it right now to say. But 8-slot was pretty good at the time that this was a current quest originally. Now, not so much. All right, let's see what he's got for us next.
Well met.
He says, "You're here about the investigations, aren't you? Let me tell you, it's not easy handling several investigations at once. I can't follow up every lead. You got that?" And I say, "What investigations are you talking about?" He says, "Sorry I snapped at you. Thought you were here to check on my progress. I'm investigating several different matters, and I can't seem to keep up with the work. I'm close to solving rather. Saving is different. I'm close to solving them, but I can't seem to make headway on my own. Now, we have options. I could say I'd like to help find the missing dagger, Or I could say I'd like to help solve the poisoned wine. Or I could just be very rude and be like, you should learn to prioritize your tasks. Which, while, uh, while cruelly humorous, is not what we want to go through. I'm going to do the missing dagger right now. So that would end in me getting a 12-slot box. Alright, we'll go ahead and accept it. He says an itinerant merchant was slain along a well-traveled path. Apparently, no one saw what happened, but evidence indicates an unusual dagger was the weapon used. It's so unusual that if we find it, we will likely find the murderer. Scour along the trail, see if it was thrown away near the scene. And I say, alright, I'll start looking for an unusual dagger. And now, of note, I think, okay, it tells us right here. I need to check along the headstone walkway to look for an unusual dagger. I see that you said that you use Discord while you're playing, and you use the in-game chat in EQ2. I also use the in-game chat in EQ2, as I'm sure you've probably noticed. But I just go ahead and do it right bold for all to hear. That's how I live my life, you know? Be bold. Always. I'm just trying to see if I want to continue on this. It's a level 30 quest. I could. But I could also do some of these other things in here. Like the Kodiaks would be a nice, easy one to go knock out. And I should also congrats my guildie here, who got up to 47 AA points. That's not bad. Let's see if anybody's up for doing anything adventuring-wise in the guild at the moment. And then I'll fly over, I think, and pick up some of those Kodiaks. However, I don't actually want to go... Well, yeah. I'll go to the Mars Ascent and then go. Well, thank you, Shadow. I'm never sure if it's entertaining for viewers or not. Well, see, here's the deal. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I just feel I do whatever feels natural, you know? Well, thank you. I will take that advice, I'm pretty sure. Just kind of trying to keep it casual, you know, and go with the flow.
Well met.
Let's see here. I think I want to head toward the Commonlands station with track going, and that way, if I see a Kodiak pop up, I can just jump off and go grab him. I believe that the Kodiaks are near near this zone into the Commonlands. I think that they're northeast slightly of that. Let's see. And maybe all the way up to the spires. I'm not sure. There's the spires. No Kodiaks yet. So maybe not. There's also some bears to the far east. And so that may actually be where I need to head. I'll jump off here because I think that might be right. I know there's a lot of wolves running around, these haze stalkers in this area. And you end up killing a good number of those for one quest and then another. But I suppose I will head to the east. Now, for future reference, if Darklight would mix it into the game at any point, the zone in for that is to the northeast. if you go along this path, you can take a right up here, and then we're going to be heading toward that area. And the zoning is right there, Darklight Wood. There's also a heritage quest that you'll end up over there for. In fact, maybe I can find you the guy, Dragoon Kane, right there. That's the one that you'll end up needing in the future for the heritage quest completion. That involves Dragoon Kane. And you end up having, I believe you end up having to kill him. Darklight Wood comes after Fadewar, or comes around in Fadewar. That is probably correct. I don't remember exactly when Darklight Wood and Miriak came out chronologically, but that might be right. It was all pretty close together that we had with Fadewar. Yeah, you know what? You're right. They were keeping it even, so they did Fadewar and Miriak, and then later on they introduced Morrowind, but it wasn't too much later. I'm getting the old palette of wasps over here. I guess I should pay attention to killing these wasps before they deal me too much damage. I was checking out the guild chat over here. Garagrim says he ended up blundering into the Dark Paw Fang Lord. Ran out of power, nice. Yeah. It didn't want to let me trigger my unfriendly reminder, even though I'm pretty sure I was behind it. It looked like some bare butt to me, but apparently the game said no, so I don't really need to use that spell anyway. Ah yes, your friend and mine, the neck wasp, has jumped back in on this. That HO just really didn't want to finish off, did it? It was just, I kept hitting the buttons and it kept going, nah, we're not interested in doing that today. Ah, good, another neck wasp. Just what I've been hoping for this whole time. Go a little bit deeper in and find some more of these lovely Kodiaks. You'd think I could have just moved my window around instead of hitting track for these 3 Kodiaks over on this side. Feathers are a little bit on the obvious side, but apparently I needed to click that button in order to notice it. That's probably going to be a feather for the quest, but it isn't. It's an advanced weaponsmith level 24. I'll take it. I don't need it, but probably a guildmate does, so. Or will, if not yet. Alright. 5 of, no, 6 of 10 for this. It was 5 of 13 for something. That may have been a city writ. I think that it probably was a Freeportian writ. It's awesome. I'm not sure if I'll be able to turn that in or not once it's done. But we'll see. Maybe. I don't remember who accepts them here, and whether they'll talk to me, but I think they probably will. We'll see. Go ahead and stun him and throw him behind so maybe we can finish him off. Okay, let's go ahead and click this ravenous grizzlies so that we see where we're at with that. I believe, though, yes, it's a city task. Liege Halvanica of Freeport Militia is the one who gave us that quest. Just one more of those for the Motley Stakes, but I almost may as well finish it. Finish the other quest as well, even though it's writ that I'm not sure I'll be able to turn in, but we may as well find out and see if it works. I probably may as well go ahead and gather this kind of thing as I go along, because I mean, we're always in need of rocks and roots and all that kind of business. May as well grab it while I'm here. It's the same tier as Thundering Steps, so that's always a tier that's needed, and I feel like we're a little bit low on some things. Interspersed with wasp killing. Alright, now for this fellow who I have missed. He's broken, and it's his time to die. Too bad I don't need the wasps for anything. I think I've already expressed this sentiment, but it's a strong one, so I'm expressing it again. There's a bear cave around here that you'll need for a quest. It's over here, and it has a cave bear in it. So you can kill a cave bear in the bear cave. Ah, yes, more wasps. Can't be forgetting that, can we? Alright, Alright, so now we have finished the Granville's restaurant update for the bears, and all we need is a few more bears for this ravenous grizzly's writ, and we've gotten that knocked out. Hopefully, we'll be able to turn that in, we'll see. I think that I should start bug reporting the things that don't work, such as speaking to ravenous in Commonlands. You're supposed to speak to him to update a quest, and you can't because he's afraid of being killed by the Overlord for talking to you, so he won't speak to you. And I've tried hailing him by clicking him. I've tried right-clicking and hailing. I've tried clicking H to hail him. None of these things have been effective. Also, I've tried using a petrified eye to turn myself into like a gnoll and seeing if he would be willing to talk to me then. The answer is he will not do that. He absolutely refuses. For some reason, he does not want to be hung by Lucan in the public square. Thrown into the pit. Which is all fine and well, except that, you know, I'm allowed to get the quest, and I can't actually do the quest. Now that was an awesome thing right there. So it finished, and I just got the update for it. Which is interesting because I get some Freeport Militia faction for that. Super cool. Alright, now, that's the lighting the torches quest. I don't know that there's anything exciting over here that I want to do. I might need some of those Thexian scouts for something. Not sure. Yeah, Thexian scouts is for necromantic blood runes. I don't know that I want to go deal with all that right now. I think I may just head... oh, tree snakes. Well, that's a maybe. That's a solid maybe. But for now, I think I'm going to head back to Granville and get my update from him. He's near the beginning of this zone in from Commonlands. So we will slowly make our way in that direction. Actually, for this server, I'm running very quickly. Oh, it looks like Garagrim needs Fool's grandfather. So I may be gonna head that way then. Which is fine, I can grab my update. And then probably, I could call the city. That might be the fastest way to get to Wall, or to his grandfather. Like I said, it's underneath Valen's tower that you go to for that update. So I'll go ahead and invite Garagrim to the group, and I'm also going to gather this ore because hey, it's ore, right? Ask the guild in general if they would like to come for that update. You know what? I might could. I'm not sure if escape would take me to the docks, or it may still be simpler either way to just hit the escape on here. And it may take me to the entrance. It may take me to the docks. Yes, it does take me to the entrance right now, so very good. That was a little faster. If only I'd thought of that a few minutes ago before I started the run. That would have been even faster, but oh well. Alright, Tanny Granville, here she is.
Greetings.
She says, did you get some bear meat? I say, yes, here it is. She says, I've heard that there are some interesting crustaceans on the shores near Port Naythex. If there are, perhaps my brother could use them. Could you check it out and let me know? I do hate to be a bother, but you've been so helpful. And I say, I suppose I could take a look. She says, you've no idea how much this means to me. Tobias is always interested in fish and seafood and the like. I'm sure it will bring a smile to his face when I would give him some new ingredients to use in his recipes. And I say, in that case, I'll be right back. And so, man, I was tempted to, I was going to go the route of calling and going from there to Antonica, but I really feel like
Well met.
this is my golden opportunity to get an update along the way. And there's also that shiny in Thundering Steps that I need to check out, right? It doesn't take much for me to convince myself to run to the Thundering Steps docks. I really need that striped red ant. It's a matter of time. I'm gonna get there. It looks like Garagrim is going AFK for a moment. And, in fact, I think that's a great idea. I, too, will go AFK for a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I have returned. Alright, let's see. See if there are any crustaceans there. Alright, so the next step to that one will be to report back to Tanny Grand Bridge near the Gerace Bridge in Nectalos. But we are not going to do that right now. We're going to just go along our merry way. Well, thank you, Shadow. We're going to go along to Thundering Steps. Grab the shiny. Always check the mender if you notice and think about it while you're running by one. It's a great idea. Also, Getting distracted enough by the mender to miss the Thundering Step spell is not the recommended method, but it gets you there. And now to search for a striped red ant real quick. Someday I'm going to find the striped red ant, and then I'll get to look for a striped red ant. It'll be exciting. No luck so far. On the shiny, probably happened as someone heard me talking about it and went, oh yeah, that's right. There's a shiny over there. I'll go grab that. I don't really think so, but it would be hilarious. No luck, not even underneath the dock bridge. Ah well. Maybe next time. In the meanwhile, I will head over to the Thundering Steps entrance to Antonica that's on this side of the world. There is another Thundering Steps entrance to Antonica. It's on the far west side over there. And it goes in, so the entrance is between the entrance to Blackburrow and the entrance to this Thundering Steps. So it's behind the waterfall there in Antonica, where the gnolls are inside the little cave. At the end of that cave is the entrance to Antonica. So, if you're in Antonica, say you come out of Blackburrow and you are wanting to go do some gathering in the Griffin Fields, it's very simple to just run straight over to the entrance to Thundering Steps, and you're just north of where you want to be when you do that. So sometimes it can be quicker to go that direction, depending on what part of Thundering Steps you're wanting to hit. Let's see here. Looks like Calthea and Claw are working on the sinking sands. Probably finishing up some quests there, I would imagine. Mist and Durkala are in the Ferret. Alright. Good to know what's going on.
Group voice.
Oh yeah, there you are. Let me turn you up a bit. Alright, now maybe I can hear you.
Yeah, I tried fighting this ghost, but he's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I believe that's accurate. What color is he to you? Is he green?
Blue.
Okay.
Hello.
I'm gonna fly this direction and jump up. I think I'm gonna jump up here. Could have flown toward Oracle Tower. It may have gotten a little bit closer, but this was good enough for government work, you know?
I figure this is like pretty much the last step of this quest, right?
No.
No?
No. Heritage quests are a little longer than your average. Most of the time.
Or do we have to like go get him new boots made or something?
Yes, ultimately we'll have to do that. Looks like that pulled me in as well.
Oh, cool. Well, let's see if 2 of us is enough.
Yeah, give me just a second. I think that I will start with my haste reduction on him. So I'm gonna cast I think it's the hex.
Okay, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's the one that decreases haste by 11.2
Go
to
ahead and send me it.
16.8. All right, I'll do it.
And I'll start using the one that decreases his physical mitigation.
All right, he's coming.
That went much better.
Yeah. So I think
I got him down to about 1/4 of his health by myself before I, had to book it.
right. I think that we have to go kill some things in Thundering
Thundering
Steps. Yeah. let's see if I can find that path to run up and over here.
I have decided to take the straightest path available to me.
Going over the mountain?
Yep.
Me too.
If only that jumping raptor thing was in the game, that'd be neat.
Yeah, you know, can't have everything, right?
Does the tinkering come in the Fadeware expansion, or is that later? Because I know that Fadeware adds, you know, like the Butcher Block Mountains and stuff.
Yeah, it does add butcher block. I'm not sure. I know that, no, I'm not even gonna wager a guess on it.
Yeah, it adds Greater Fade Arc, Butcher Block and Steam Font and Loathing Plains, right?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently we also have to kill firerock giants. So an antelope, I think it has to be a mature antelope. It's not like any antelope.
Oh, hey, Ravenous. I didn't see your message. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think the hardest part of that is going to be the firerock giant, but I don't see any reason we can't do it.
Whoa! And here I thought you might have some trouble.
I mean, I think the firerock giant should just be like any old firerock giant, right?
I think it's the one's called a firerock giant, so I don't know that a firerock scout or something like that would work. All right, so Wall is here greeting me, and I'm going to say to him, you know, you really could have warned me that he'd put up a fight.
Well, we
Now, where's
can
the
fight
fun in
them. It's just a
that,
pain in the butt.
I suppose you're expecting some sort of reward. Adventurers are always thinking about what they get for helping someone. I think it's a law of nature.
Well, it would be appreciated.
I don't have much, just the boots on my feet and my forge, of course. I'm not giving up my forge. You hear?
So the only thing you have left is your set of old smelly boots.
No need to be rude about it. They're quite a fine pair of dwarfen boots, but I'll need something to replace them. I got just the thing.
Why does this sound bad for me?
Back up! It's only a quick thing. I needed a new pair of boots anyway. A good friend of mine, Minty Frostbeard, is likely the finest dwarfen tailor you'll ever meet. She gave me a list of things to gather a while back, but I haven't gotten around to it.
I'm not sure I like where this is going.
No, that's no way to talk. Bring the stuff to Minty, and I'll give you my boots when you get back.
Fine, I guess there's not much I can say about that. Alright, so with that, now Garagrim and I both are on the step where we have to hunt antelopes in the steppes for special leather, and also search firerock giants in the steppes for special steel. After that, we're going to have to turn into Minty over there at Thundermist Village and have her work on the boots. I think, as I recall, it takes about, I want to say an hour and a half, maybe it's only an hour and 15 minutes for her to finish those boots in our real time. So, so basically once we finish this, we'll turn into her, and then we'll be able to come back at a later point and pick them up. It would definitely be a good one to finish, if for nothing else. The status points alone
Well met.
are nice. We're gonna fly over to the step station. But to show you what that looks like, we go to these boots were made for, and the status points you get for finishing this is 20,766. Now earlier I showed you the amount that I'm getting paid per writ for the crafting writs, and it was 3,000 something, maybe close to 4,000. It may have been 3,700. So if we rounded that to 4,000, this would still be 5 writs worth of 5 crafting writs at level 30 worth of status points. So it's not bad return on the status points, but also you get these cool boots, you know. They're not the best boots in the world, but you know they're pretty dang good. And if you were level 22, which is the level of the boots, they're pretty nice for level 20 boots, 22 boots. Oh, hello, Cassie. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I will check out your Discord later on when I'm in between streaming. The good news is I found out that it saves the chat logs on Twitch, so I can go back through and find things, such as if someone drops their handles to another social media, or if there's something that just someone says and I want to go check on it. That's something that is very doable, fortunately. Looks like Garagrim went ahead and went into that west side entrance to
Hello.
this place. I'll fly over to Thundermist and be near where he's at. Won't take too long to get there. If we can get these updates, then probably after I turn into Minty, I will take a bit of a break and get some things done, and then be back after that. It'll probably take a little bit to get the updates, I would think. So I'm not running off right away, but just to warn you, that's kind of my current plan as far as that schedule goes. Antelopes. Let's see here. I do see an antelope. Only see a young antelope right now, though. What we need are mature antelopes. However, we can head toward the firerock columns. There's a mature antelope. There's a couple of them in there, possibly 3 at the most. No, 4. Let's see if we can get this update. Sometimes it can take a while, sometimes it can update really quickly, so this one does not look like it updated the quest. Unfortunately, we'll try again with another group. There's another mature antelope this way.
Yeah, I didn't get an update on that.
No.
I'm gonna grab this ore real quick.
Okay, I'm bringing a mature antelope over to you. Nope, no
No
luck on
update.
that one. I can just tap in mature. Oh, look, a shiny. Now, since Garagrim is with me, the odds are that it will be a striped red ant and he will win it. So that's the way that goes. Nope, it's not. I wasn't close enough. Makes sense. See if there are any more of these mature antelopes running around to the north. And they can kind of wander all over the Thundering Steppes, so I think I'll circle around here and then head toward the giant area where perhaps we can find a what is it, a special steel from the giants. Giants, you know, they're known for carrying special steel around on their bodies. That's why you need to grab one. And you just never know when you're going to get that. It doesn't tell us what kind of special steel. Like, what do they do to make it special, you know? Like, do we want to know what they did to make it special? That's the other important question. I'm feeling like I'm not confident that I want to know what the giants did to the steel. Alright, we did find some. Found some over here. Garagrim. Whole herd of them. Odds of getting the update are high. We'll go ahead and mark them in case anything untoward happens. Let's see that he got the single, well, not single, but very small group And that was all we needed. Yeah, looks like we got our update from that. Very nice. Unfortunately, Garagrim is low on power. Do you have any power potions on you? Keep running. Use your call for help button to disengage. Yeah, for sure. Let's head over to the firerock giants. Bags are getting pretty close to full. Still have 6 slots left. It doesn't look like I have any armor or books in my bags, unfortunately. Alright, that definitely has a feather on it, so I think it'll count. No trigger, but you know, it's not surprising. It's the first one we've got so far. Probably that's. Garagrim says his volume is off. That's a problem. That may be a problem. It's not currently a problem. Maybe it won't be. No luck on the update on that one, but Lord Legend Giant is triggering pretty well. He says, be right back. So let's see here. Yeah, has been on follow. Very good. I will come and harvest this ore while I wait. Who knows? Maybe I'll get something awesome. But first, the shiny. It was already worth it to come this direction just to see that beautiful flickering yellow light. Hopefully he'll be back soon. Otherwise, my bags are going to fill up with harvests. The good news is that if I get attacked in the meanwhile, I'll have somebody to throw aggro onto. I'm tempted to toss my harvesting tools on, but knowing me, if I do that, we'll get back to fighting and I won't have my gear on. Oh, I see what Cruz was talking about earlier. It's something in channel cheaps, gold, CRPL, or KRPL, and want to buy chrono each for 42 platinum. This is very strange. No, I don't think that we care too much about that. I've actually seen it come across the screen prior on the general chat, but I didn't really pay much attention to it, and I didn't even think about it whenever Cruz was mentioning them selling gold in the channel. I'm seeing them discuss the different classes that are currently on. Somebody says 38 necros is wild. Yeah, that's a good number of necros for sure. I understand the pet classes are definitely the big thing because of soloing. If you want to solo, it's the easiest way probably. If you want to be a conjurer, necromancer, illusionist, coercer, you know, that's probably the easiest way to solo on this server. I think that they're also beneficial in groups. All of those classes, certainly. I would say that every subclass in this game has its place in a group. So. In my opinion, it's more important to have a good player than it is to worry about you know, what class it is as far as that goes. You know your class well and play it well, and I think you'll always have a place in a group. And yeah, I'm not recommending that you go around with with a group of 6 guardians, but if all you have is 6 guardians, then I think you can make it work. I would certainly try. It would be a very slow, grueling fights, but that's alright. I think Garagrim's BRB was a lot more of an AFK than it was a BRB. I think that Be Right Back implies a level of promptness that has not been achieved. Ah, and now it's been long enough that his AFK tag has come on. Well, got another little node of roots and a bit of ore over there. Here pretty soon, I'm going to head back toward those giants, and if Garagrim is not with us by then, I'm going to just give it a go with Bernicky alone. Toss some of the aggro with Garagrim, and we'll see if it works. May as well kill this lion while we're in the area. Who knows, maybe he needs it for a quest that he doesn't have checked. Lots of quests require the lions. Maybe I need it for a quest that I don't have checked. Who knows? Anything could happen. I actually only have this one quest checked right now, and it's these boots were made for. So as for anything else I might need, hard to say. On the one hand, we could work on one of these lions or griffins that are heroic as a test to see how the firerock scout is likely to go. But I think that it would do just as well for the test to be the giant as it would for it to be any of the rest of us. So. No sense in doing that. That's going to have the same results either way. Oh, he's semi-back. Well, that's excellent. The good news is I'm about to attack this here giant. Oh, that was not the way I was going to do it. I guess he's more back than previously indicated. That's okay. No quest items found yet. These giants are going to be repopping in a moment. And there should be one of them that's a wanderer going up and down this passageway. There he is. Maybe. I think we should give this one, or this two, a go here. Now hopefully miss the second one that he's not talking about. Oh, interesting, they broke. That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, maybe we need to get a little closer. Now there's this one. Like this one. Figured I'd try it. Yeah, Garagrim has taken those hits good. I will revive and run back. Probably ought to have run them off before that, but the fact is I wanted to try to get the update, so I thought, well, could do it, but I may as well just go ahead and finish off the guy who is low. Probably would have, in the long run, been a better idea to have run them off and then come back and gotten the second one who would then be alone, instead of trying to finish him off right then and knowing that I would probably die. Because now we're going to have to wait on basically the mez sickness wearing off and also make the run. And obviously Garagrim's currently dead, so good news is that he's dead over in the area where the giants are, so if I can manage to kill some of those, he will get the update if there is an update to be had. Let's see here. I don't currently have any res sickness. So that's good. And there's no repops on those giants yet. I wonder what the timer for them is. Ah, there is. this firerock scout wanderer here. Suppose I better get the rest of my buffs on, and then I can shoot him, run toward Garagrim's body over here. Oof, but no, it's no bueno. There's a, oops, there's a scout there. Haha. Terrible. Terrible thing. I had thought that this was the Wanderer, but in fact that is the Wanderer. Should have known, because this is a scout, that's a giant. Oh well. Live and learn. Sometimes. Of course, you'd think that if I was going to learn, I would have by now, so possibly it's, in this case, it's kind of a live and don't learn situation. Continue to repeat the past mistakes, possibly indefinitely. What an interesting guild recruitment message here. Want to raid on an alt? Not quite leveled, but are interested in raiding? All are welcome. Please intel for info. It's like a targeted alt-specific recruitment message. For those of you who want to raid only on your alts, we're here. People who want to raid on their main, maybe not the right place, but if you want your alt, absolutely. Alright, we're going to try this again. Let's see, how close... Alright, he's over there. So the question is, can I get him close enough to get an update without getting that guy too? It's not looking pretty. I'm going to back up a bit. So, maybe I'll just pull this guy over to here. Oh, Garagrim is back up, so implication is he's back at the keyboard, at least for the moment. Well, I may as well go gather some things while I wait on him to make it back in this direction. Wouldn't do me any good to try a giant until he gets nearby, because even if I could kill it without dying, he wouldn't get the update, so... Oh, there he is. Just jumped off the griffin. And now to the giants. We haven't died nearly enough times today. Alright, let's see. He does have him targeted. Okay, so this is definitely a Garagrim who is currently at the keeper. Good to know. Try to not start the heroic opportunities and just to second them. So that we can try to get some decent ones going here. Get a kick. Kick it to here. Good job, good job. I accidentally started my heroic. That was silly. Suppose I'll finish it out. No quest items found. He needs to not be looking at me so that I can hit him. No, still nothing for Wall's quest. Still getting good updates on the giant low-end legend, so there's that. And of course, we need the giant language so that we can up to obviously Boulder Boom. Still have a long way to go on that. I think I only have the starter possibly for that. So could use something else. I can't remember how many idols it takes. Alright. I'll let that start getting, and then I'm going to miss this one. Let's see, what is on me? Anything? No. With the updates, that's good. What's interesting is when you're actually standing inside one of these giants' bodies like that. It really doesn't think I'm behind this. I don't know why. It's a shame because I feel like this is about as behind as I can get. Apparently not. Alright, well, guess I won't be casting that right now. The good news is that now, when I'm clearly in front of him, I'm behind him or flanking him. Also, in front of him flanking. All is well. Alright, now to head back to Minty Frostbeard. Update in hand. And let's see here. We've got the words of a giant. I believe that, yeah, he won the idol. And I need 5 more of those. Uh-oh. Whatever that is looks bad. Link dead. Well, that may be okay because it looks like he may have been getting hit by the giants. Unfortunately, that indicates that when he logs back in, he's gonna have a bad time of it there. But I'm definitely gonna go and turn this into Minty, and then I'll be getting off for a little while and getting some things done, and should be back on later. Before I take off, though, I want to see if I can figure out this raid thing. I went earlier and I followed some of my followers who stream, and I think I can see if they are currently online streaming, and if they are, I think I can raid them, which is awesome. I've never done it before. I went and checked out some of their channels earlier today, so I'm somewhat prepared in that regard. I don't know what the right button is to do that. Okay, I see there's a raid channel. Anyway, I'll look into that in a minute and see if I can figure something out on there. For now, let's turn this in. And also, right beside Minty Frostbeard, right here at this glowy bed that's lit up, that's where you get the lore and legend, I believe, for the centaur, right there. Garagrim logged back in. Likely going to get slaughtered by those wandering giants, but I'm not sure. Okay, so Minty says, "What? And who might you be?" And I say, "My name is Copernicus. Wall sent me to fetch this new pair of boots."
Did you bring the materials I need? I can't very well make a pair of boots without the right leather and steel now, can I?
And I say, "Yes, I brought the leather and steel you specified."
Well then, that's wonderful. Why don't you come back tomorrow about this time, and I'll have the boots ready.
So I say, "Very well, thanks, Minty." It's going to take her about, I think, an hour and a half real time to get those boots ready. So probably by the time I get back, or near to, she'll have that done. I don't know exactly how long I'll be gone, but I'll be gone a little while. And Garagrim is asking me how long. It's just an in-game day, so not a full real-life day. He says that's much better. Yes, absolutely it is. So, alright. Let's see if I can figure this out. I'm gonna window out of this screen, and so it's gonna look real strange on y'all's screens. Because I want to try to see how to do this raid thing. For some of my my followers, I feel like that would be pretty cool. Since I don't really know exactly what it is, or how to do that, I should say. I'm just kind of winging it. It doesn't look like I actually have any of them currently online that I'm following, so I suppose I can't try it out yet. Maybe that'll be for next time. One of these days, I'm gonna give that a shot. In the meanwhile, it was a pleasure streaming with you all. Kese, I will check out your Discord in a little bit. I'm gonna get some other things done, and I will check that. As for everyone else, it was a pleasure talking to you. And be sure to follow me and turn on your notifications so that you know when I'm going live. I will see you all later on. Goodbye for now.